photographs. If I had my picture took in Bradford, inside the hour it would be in shop window with James Berry, public hangman, in large letters under it." She was unimpressed. "We've no cause to be ashamed, Jim. If folk round here want to see your likeness, why not let them?" He told her Bradford folk did not matter. They knew him mostly any road. The trouble would start when some newspaper reporter came by. He would be into that shop like a ferret. Next thing, the picture would be plastered over every paper in the kingdom. It might easily cost them the job. That silenced her. No more was said on the matter that evening. Yet Berry did not dismiss it from his mind. Wednesday the 6th of June. The trial of Miriam Cromer took place at the height of the London season of 1888. It was fixed for the week before Ascot at the Central Criminal Court. The preliminary hearing at the inquest and police court had set out the facts like visiting cards. The deceased, Josiah Percival, had been employed as assistant to Mr. Howard Cromer, the owner of a photographic studio in Kew. It was a fashionable place, patronised by society. The name of Cromer was familiar to readers of the Tatler. On the afternoon of Monday the 12th of March, a Dr. Matthew Eagle had visited the studio not to have his photograph taken, but to confirm that Josiah Percival was a dead man. The cause of death was poisoning. The post-mortem of the 14th of March confirmed the presence of potassium cyanide, one of the fastest-acting poisons known to science. The dregs of a glass of Madeira beside Percival's corpse had been analysed and found to contain the poison. A bottle of Sheila's solution of potassium cyanide was kept in the processing room at the studio for use as a fixing agent. It was found in the poison cabinet half empty. The first theory of the police was suicide. Percival had been found alone. No one else had been in the studio rooms for 2 hours. He was understood to have had financial worries. He owed his bookmaker £67. The suicide theory was discarded when a decanter of Madeira found in a chiffonier in the studio was analysed and found to contain cyanide. A man proposing to poison himself would put the poison in the glass he drank from, not the decanter. The person in the house responsible for keeping the decanters topped up was the proprietor's wife, Mrs. Miriam Cromer. She had attended to it at noon on the day of Percival's death. Before 2 o'clock, she had gone out to her dressmaker's for a fitting. Her husband was in Brighton for a meeting of the Portrait Photographers League, so Percival was alone in the studio. It was an open secret that he helped himself to Madeira when he had the opportunity. At 20 minutes past 3, the housekeeper and a maidservant who were in the basement underneath the studio heard a heavy thump as if someone had fallen. It was followed by other sounds, a series of knocks, as if someone were beating upon the floor. There was an order that no servant was to be seen in the studio in business hours, but the sounds were so unusual and alarming that they took it upon themselves to investigate. They found Percival lying rigid on the carpet, fighting for breath, his eyes glassy and staring, his skin turning blue. He was conscious, but incapable of speech. The maid ran to fetch Dr. Eagle, but in the 10 minutes it took for him to be summoned, Percival died. Mrs. Miriam Cromer returned to the house shortly before 4 o'clock. She came directly to the studio. Asked whether she knew if there was any form of poison in the house, she took Dr. Eagle to the cabinet and showed him where the cyanide was kept. A few minutes later, she fainted. During the next week, painstaking work by the police discovered a remarkable collation between the financial affairs of Josiah Percival and certain transactions made by Miriam Cromer. In October and December 1887 and January and February 1888, Percival had settled debts with his bookmaker of £10, £12, £14 and £15 respectively. At dates that closely